So do you want to be a moderator? Hello, I'm waiting for somebody to pop in before I do that much talking. Hey, somebody's here. Let me bring up chat. Hello, who's here? For Moon Watcher. Actually, I watched her live today, just a little bit of it. Kind of cut out of work a few minutes early just to be able to catch it. I get to watch her stuff every once in a while. It's good stuff. I enjoy it. I especially like the chickens hatching out. So, I don't do lives very often. So, what do you want to know? And welcome, by the way. I'm looking around because I got one dog over there, just kind of sitting off by herself. I got the wife's dog over there, looking to get into trouble. That's what she does, is get into trouble. Anyway, I'll introduce myself a little bit more. My name is Chris. I am the Rustic Caveman. I've been doing this now for about, I guess, a little over 4 years now. I've gotten a little bit better as I've gotten along, at least I hope. The channel is primarily a farmsteading, homesteading type channel. I'll try to include other interesting stuff like, you know, I like foggy mornings. I like fog on the water. Love water, lakes, waterfalls, the river. Here in Gallipolis, Ohio, we've got the Ohio River coming through. It's pretty good. That's it. I don't know what else to talk about. I just figured it's been a long time since I've done a live, so I figured I'd do a live to see if anybody wanted to chat. So, questions. Where are you from? You know, this thing does not show that. There it is. You're from the UK. So you can't do this live water. Oh, you love water. Well, never been to the UK. I was in the Navy, so I was pretty much all over the Mediterranean. Suez Canal. Probably 5 or 6 times both ways. It's a lot of gorgeous country. Spent some time in Spain, spent some time in France, Calvi, Corsica, or Calvi, Italy, Crete, Greece, all of them beautiful countries. But not any time in the UK. A little bit of time in France. They're along the Riviera. What part of the UK? Mist over the river, mesmerizing. Yes, it is very mesmerizing. I love watching it. There's a couple YouTube channels that I watch over there. TA Outdoors, TA Fishing, Yorkshire. Actually, I think that might be where these guys are from. He either moved there or moved from. He actually owns a section of woodland. He does a lot of bushcrafty type stuff. Pretty good. TA Outdoors. The wife's dog is finally calmly sitting there. So I'm waiting for it to do something. I am currently in we have a canopy. You can kind of see the canopy, what you see behind me. There's the farm. There's my cabin. That's what me and the wife live in. My office is that green building, green top building way over there, where I do computer work. That's it. Anything else? This is probably a terrible live, but at least you get some one-on-one. Any questions about over here? I am in southern Ohio. Is the heat bad down there? Yes. We've been in the upper 80s, low 90s for a really long time. My office up there is what we call a storage shed. Basically, as you saw the cabin, it's about twice the size of that. It's got a green roof, which means the sun beats down on it and it gets hot. And I spend most of my days from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on at about 90 to 92 degrees inside my office. It's hot. So sitting out here in the gazebo area, I've got the screens. It is much, much nicer. Got a little bit of a breeze coming up to the end of the day. So that's nice. UFO area. Not so much. Most of the UFOs that I seem to hear about are from out west. I am just across the river from West Virginia, about an hour away from Kentucky. I'm in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. If there's a UFO down here, we have a tendency to shoot it down and eat it. No, the night breeze is fantastic. So I'm going to sit out here probably this evening until it starts to get dark, and then I'll probably go in. And for us, that's about 8:30, 8:45. I used to read a bunch of romance novels. I am nearly here, but it has not been warm in the UK. Cloudy and rain. 1 a.m. Well, that's a pretty good time distance. Actually, Pinky, I think I've seen you some other stuff. Some other lives or some other comments and some other channels we seem to have in common, other than Hillbilly. If you can hear that, that's a donkey at the neighbor's house. It's yipping like a dog. Yep. Anyway, somebody else just joined. Who's with us? Yep. Lady with ducks. That rings a bell. I haven't been watching your channel that much, I will admit. I did catch it a couple times, I think. I'm actually way behind on my watch hours. I should be doing a lot more watching, but I've been working on a work project, and it has pretty well consumed all of my time. And most of my YouTube watch time, especially those channels where I don't really, they're higher subscriber type channels who don't really need the additional comments and things like that, I usually put those on and on one of my screens while I'm working. And so I usually do about 6, maybe 7 hours of watch time for those types of channels. The channels that need the additional that need the help, the commenting, the subscribers, the watch hours and things like that, I try to do those in the evening when I have an opportunity to actually comment and interact as much as I can. And right now my evenings have been pretty tight. So I'm kind of coming into a stretch. This weekend I'll probably be able to do some more watching. I did not put in a video out last weekend. I had a good friend of mine from Michigan came down. I used to live up in Michigan for about 20 years. Anyway, he came down. How many utilities? We have what we call city water. We have, standard electric. In all actuality, for me, I am running the entire warehouse off an extension cord. The cabin, again, is on an extension cord. The water that we have inside the cabin is a 35-gallon tank we have up in the loft, and we fill it up, and it lasts us about a month and a half before we have to fill it up again. And so our water is gravity fed, and we fill it with a hose from the main house. My parent lives in the main house. This is where I was born and raised. This is where I grew up. So my cabin is here off to the side, and I mooch off of them for the power on the extension cord and the water out of the hose. But I'm also the one that takes care of the farm now. My wife does all the mowing. My mom has passed on early this year, so we try to take care and help Dad where we can, and keep him fed, keep him going. And he's got his project, which is the garden. He is deeply into the garden. He recently fell and broke a hip, so he hasn't been able to do as much in the garden as he wants to, but he's getting back to it. So anyway, that's where we are here. Any other questions? I think I'm going to do this again. I'm going to have to bring the tablet over here so I can actually see the comment side of this screen. The chickens are starting to put themselves away for the evening. They're kind of pecking their way across the yard, working their way back to the coop. Come on, give it back to me. Don't hide it. Hey, Caucasian, how you doing? I'm not doing this very well because I can't see the comments as I go. This is just a I guess it's a play life. I will answer questions as they come up as best I can, and I will jibber jabber and ramble on in the meantime. I moved down here from Michigan. Some of you who know my channel have probably seen this in some of the videos, but about 5 years ago, me and the wife moved down here because I noticed that my mom and dad were not doing as well as they were claiming that they were doing. Yeah, I know it's been a rough summer for you. I'm glad to see you're on, though. You seem to be doing pretty good from the shorts that I've been seeing. Anyway, so I had a pretty good relationship with my. You got any of them giant hens? No, I just got the standard barred rocks, and got some outer reds out there, a couple of Americanas. They're good. Let's see if I can do this. I don't need to see me. Let me see if I can. Must be a way to actually bring the chat up here. Nope. Nope, that doesn't do it. Yeah, anyway. So I got to spend Mom passed in March, and so I got to spend almost 5 years back at home with her, and that was a blessing. Now it's just me and my wife, my dad, my sisters. Both live. One lives a half hour away. The other one lives about an hour away. Carkey Campbell ducks. Never heard of them. I was going to get some Rhode Islands, but I think I picked up 3 or 4 from the Merle King, and I think they died. I started out with 40 chickens, and I think I managed to get 23 of them, 24 of them to adulthood. And we've lost a few to predators. We're down to 18, 17 or 18 now. Got the neighbor firing up his tractor. He's getting ready to work. He's got probably an acre of pumpkins growing over there, along with a couple donkeys and some goats, I think. And I think I heard some pigs the other day. We may end up with some chickens here in a minute. They might decide to jump over our fence and come over and visit. Save, highlight. What's that do? That doesn't do it. On my farm right now, I've just got the chickens. When I was growing up, we had ducks. We had Muscovy ducks. We actually selectively harvested and was able to get basically a line of pure white Muscovy ducks. And they were delicious. Good ducks to have, kept the dicks and stuff down. I've also grew up with pigs, cows. We've had everything on this farm. Goats. I don't think we've had any sheep, but we will. As I work on this farm and try to get it back into production, little by little, the next thing we're going to be doing is some goats. And I'll use the goats to eat down some of the underbrush, and once the underbrush is down, I will move the goats to another section of the field that needs for eating, and then I will fill that section with some cows. And I will do some feeder cows and things like that. So it'll take some time, but we're slowly going to bring the farm back to production, probably about another 3 years. Fencing will go up. I've got a lot of the fencing for around the farm, around the house itself done. I've got one more section to close it off, and I'm hoping to get that done this weekend or next. So that goes. Yeah, right now we just got cats, dogs, and chickens. And a menagerie of raccoons and possums that seem to be a problem all the time. Although last night I was able to get rid of one of our problem raccoons. This thing does not stay on very long, sorry. Yeah, the goats will definitely eat the brush. As you can see behind me, the rest of the farm looks like that. Thick, heavy brush. I used the tractor with the front end loader to brush down brush, and I try to make it like 2 or 3 tractor widths wide, and then I drill holes and put in vents. But it's a small piece by piece operation. I can only afford so much in the way of fencing. I've got a 330-foot roll of fence over there, but I don't have any fence posts. So that's the next buy. As soon as I get some fence posts, I'll get those put in, and then I'll have to go buy some more wire. So it's piece by piece, but it'll get there eventually. Anything else? Tell you what, Caucasian, I like the way you do it, where you got multiple people talking. I feel kind of alone here. In fact, this is probably the longest live I've done, except for the one with you. Small steps move mountains. Yes, it does. All right, Bub. Thanks for joining, man. Anyway, we got some work to do in the garden. I need to raise the beds up so Dad can get to them a little bit easier. They can't bend over right now. I've got a tree over there I need to finish cutting up. I've actually got a sawmill that I have owned for a year. I've owned it long enough that it's paid off. Unfortunately, it's still in a box. I haven't had time to actually put it together, and it's over there. I'm hoping to get started on that, at least get the rails down. And I think once the sawmill gets done, buildings can get done, inside of the warehouse can get done, because I'll be able to put some boards in. And actually start doing rooms up in there and get that finished. The idea is eventually we'll probably move from the cabin to the warehouse and turn the cabin into a yeah, I was planning on using the mill to make boards, and the core, which has a tendency to crack and check anyway. I was going to use those for the posts. Anyway, we're going to use the cabin then as a kind of a guest house thing. There's a couple martins up in Dad's martin house is fighting right now. So what you doing at your place, Pinky? The dog is trying to sneak around behind the canopy. On a housing estate, is that like a condo complex or something like that? And there's a bunch of houses in one section. Oh, you're in town. Well, I'll tell you what, I prefer living out in the country. Um, I've lived in town a few times. Didn't enjoy it too much. It was great for when I had an apartment, and it was great when I was starting out work and I could get to work easy. But it's nice to be out here. I got a sunset happening over here in the corner, and got a little bit of a breeze. I see, well, nobody's car is right in front of me, but I can hear the neighbors. It's the only neighbor I can hear. Every other neighbor I've got is probably 1,000 feet in one direction, 1,000 feet in another. It's pretty nice. I think I've heard somebody else talk about an allotment. That's pretty nice though. I know UK and some of the other ones. I think Finland. Some of the other ones are actually encouraging um, people who have the space and the time, the space and the ability to raise their own fowl, raise their own gardens, mini gardens, and things like that. I think it's a fantastic thing. It is nice to be in nature. Here in a few minutes, as the sun sets, I hear the neighbor starting to put away his tractor. The neighbor, by the way, is, when I say is my closest neighbor and I can hear it, they're probably 600 feet, 700 feet in that direction. So, I mean, they're not like right in my face. I can barely hear them, but I know they're there. But in the evening times, here in the country, in the evening time, sun starts to go down, it gets quiet. All we hear is the frogs in the pond. Sounds like there's a couple cicadas out there that are making some noise. The birds. And that's about it. It's quiet. It's peaceful. The sun's already down by the trees. Of course, I want to show it to you. Looks like somebody else joined us. I wonder if I click on that, if that changes anything. Oh, no, that doesn't. We used to grow an in-house garden in the UK. Most have gardens allow minutes places go. More people go back to gardening. Well, looks like my battery's getting about shot, so we're about to lose it. I hope that more people do go back to gardening. Do get a little bit back more to land, get a little bit more self-sufficient. From my personal view, it looks like things are falling apart out there. So I think it's going to be important that we find ways that we can sustain ourselves in some manner. If you've got vegetables, we might be able to barter them for meat. If we've got meat, we might be able to barter them for vegetables. At least in this area, we have the opportunity to help each other out. Neighbor down the road needs help. I go down and help them. If I need help, they'll come up and help me. It's the way things used to be, and it's the way things need to get back to a little bit more. I can barely see it because my phone's about to die. I think you said we're getting back to it. And I said, yes, I think we are getting back to it. Well, my phone's about to die. I'm down to 1%. So thank you for joining me, and I'll check out your channel a bit more. Thanks. Bye.